Hey everybody, welcome back. Here's Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Let's talk about Hardware, the first Milestone Media character to come out from the first wave of Milestone. That's right, created by Dwayne McDuffie and Dennis Cowan. This was the first character to debut in the universe of Milestone from the Dakotaverse. In 1993, Dwayne McDuffie and Dennis Cowan and Christopher Priest and a number of other black creators got together and created their own media company, Milestone Media, and sublet their publishing through DC Comics and created a number of characters that came out, including Hardware, Icon and Rocket, and Static. And we talked about Static a while ago. I love Static. I think he's awesome. He represented one of the three pillars that Dwayne McDuffie talked about in comics, Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man, where you got the Superman, like the character with all the powers, the character who has no powers, and the character who's a kid.
Okay.
Like the superhero world from the kid's perspective. And they nailed it. And we'll talk a little bit about the formation of Milestone, because who doesn't love talking about Milestone? It's an amazing company that existed for 4 years and then threatened to return every decade or so, but due to legal troubles, constantly is stuck in some quagmire or two, until inevitably we got some semblance of Milestone characters back in the fore. Most people know Milestone, when I say that I mean non-comic readers, from the Static Shock cartoon show. Although I think more people probably know Milestone from Icon and his appearances in the Young Justice cartoon. But no mention of Hardware, which I think is curious.
Which of the pillars was Hardware?
Hardware was the Batman.
Okay.
Or the Iron Man. Because I believe Dennis Cowan has said, if not Dwayne McDuffie, that Hardware has better armor than Iron Man, which I think is debatable. But
Like looking or performing?
okay, so that's the thing, right? I think Iron Man has a sleeker design, but it also represents armor engineered by an affluent white guy, as opposed to Hardware, who's making this thing in secret, but also has access to untold technology. They're both geniuses, and yet one has a little bit more of the deck stack against them. And that would be Curtis Metcalf, aka Hardware.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first character to burst forth from the Milestone invasion of comics. The idea being, hey, here's a bunch of black creators in comics. They break off to make their own imprint, and here are a bunch of characters. Christopher Priest will tell you that he is essential and oft ignored as a creative element in the formation of Milestone, down to the fact that Christopher Priest is credited as the creator of the Milestone logo, and also lays claim to the idea of engineering the Bible for Milestone, though I've also heard that most credit goes to Dwayne McDuffie, who is no longer with us, but I think that it's probably somewhere in the middle between the two. Dwayne McDuffie, fantastic comic book creator, amazing writer, wrote probably your favorite episode of the Justice League cartoon show. He also wrote the Justice League series for a little while, and created, or at least wrote, everyone in Milestone when they debuted, and is easily the basis for the Curtis Metcalf Hardware character. But he also seems to be the basis for a lot of characters in the Milestone universe. Like, I find that if you go back to my Static episode, you'll find me saying, oh, and that guy is also Dwayne McDuffie, and that guy's Dwayne McDuffie. And I think John Henry Irons' Steel from DC is also Dwayne McDuffie.
I was gonna say.
But at least Dwayne McDuffie didn't invent Steel.
Yeah.
Louis Simonson, who was a friend of his, did, and yeah, it's no question that Steel is McDuffie. But also so is Hardware. For the creation of Hardware, I believe McDuffie and company saw Unforgiven, and they were like, I want that. Like, I want to do that, but this. I don't see it. But
Like, that's
you mean
what they
like
said.
in the aesthetic?
it's not. Yeah, I think
Maybe
it's,
the plot?
no. It's just more like one
Or the
lone
attitude.
man gets revenge.
Okay.
So in that regard, I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, but that's also like any revenge fantasy movie. Like, Unforgiven has a lot of baggage.
Unforgiven has a lot of specific things that make it Unforgiven.
Yeah, William Munny
Like,
is not a good man.
No, it's also a team movie.
That's
like
true.
There's other people in there.
Yeah, there's other characters. It's not just these.
It's also a commentary on Westerns in general.
Yeah.
And the West. What about what?
Death Wish?
Death Wish.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Charlie
I
Bronson.
was trying to
Yeah.
think
Charlie Bronson.
the Western. I was just like,
Bronson.
that's still Clint Eastwood.
That's still a Clint Eastwood, whichever Clint Eastwood movie you're thinking of, but yes.
Yeah, the Good, Bad, the Ugly.
The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Fistful of Dollars.
Exactly.
The interesting thing about Hardware,
Yeah.
saying like, he's got the better armor in terms of capabilities.
Yeah, like it's more advanced.
I think it's because it looks like he's constantly working on it. So like, there's a lot of exposed like capacitors and
Yeah.
diodes and all this thing.
Yes.
Like, the hardware's on the outside.
Yes.
It's not covered in a sleek shell.
That's right. No, it's very unsleek.
But that also makes it interesting to draw because you're seeing it all the time.
Yeah.
Which also makes it harder to draw.
I was gonna say
Yes.
hard to draw.
Oh no,
I
it
would
is,
think.
and Dennis Cowan is the right guy to draw it because Cowan can do it. And the art's, I think, fantastic. He really goes for it, and he knows he needs to go for it because it's also the debut of Milestone. But he also drew '90s Deathlock, which reminds me very much of a similar aesthetic to this. Similar vibes, certainly, Man in the Machine kind of idea, but a lot of like interesting tubes and explosions and exposed wires and stuff like that. But yeah, so Milestone Media drops in '93, and they're like, ta-da, and they have a lot riding on this. And fortunately, it works out because it's the early '90s, or at least for a time. But they needed something to help them, get across the finish line, and so they made a partnership with DC. This would result in essentially the blurring of the line between the Dakotaverse and the DC universe, because I think for everyone, thanks to the Static Shock cartoon largely, people were like, that's the same universe, right? And it's like, demonstrably no. Even in the Worlds Collide crossover, it's about how there's two different universes. And as a kid, I always thought that it ended with a crisis where both universes were merged. I was wrong. But New 52 was like, no, they were. And then they couldn't legally do anything with half the characters, and so they were like, and then you just never heard about them again.
they're there.
Yeah, they're
you
there.
never see them.
And then you just never hear about it. No one ever explains like what the story is or what's going on with the city of Dakota where all those characters live. And then eventually they would like dust off Static and shove him in front of the camera for a hot second until eventually they just got hot and tired and didn't want to deal with it. And so Milestone is largely, unfortunately, forgotten, or at the very least, it is marginalized. But its contributions to comics can't be overstated. And the efforts by the team who brought this to the fore deserve all the accolades in the world. Hardware is an interesting book. Is it good? I think yes.
Okay.
I think it's cool. You have to also remember and
When it was made?
When it was made.
Yeah.
It's '93, and what's going on, not necessarily behind the scenes, but like what they're thinking, what they're doing, and why they're doing it. Dwayne McDuffie is writing this because Dwayne McDuffie had originally been a physicist at the University of Michigan and had discovered at some indeterminate period that his work was being used on Patriot missile guidance systems. And he was so upset that he had no recourse to stop it that he dropped out and went to Tisch. And the rest is history.
Huh. That's very interesting.
Yeah. I tried for your benefit to look up exactly what field of physics he was in. I couldn't find it, but you could probably extrapolate from the fact that his work was used on missile guidance systems, what type of physics he was working specifically on. But you'll see that
It could have been
specifically.
like radar, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked
Guidance
on the
would be like-
guidance system.
The guidance system. Like I'm thinking like the tracking and but yes, the rocket motor is another part of it, so it could have been either. Yeah.
So the metaphors are a little on the nose, but you know what? You're trying to break through, and so let's do it. So Curtis Metcalf talks about when he was a kid, he used to have this parakeet, and when he would let the parakeet out of its cage to fly around the house, the first place it wanted to go was out the window into the backyard, and it never learned its lesson. It constantly would, when every time that Curtis would let it out of the cage, it would fly into the window and smash against the window, and it just every single time. It never learned. It never broke through.
Because it's a stupid
Because
bird.
it's stupid. No, because the lesson from Curtis
They would
is
always try.
it would always try. The lesson that young Curtis learned was the bird mistook being out of the cage with being free. And then that is punctuated by hardware smashing through a glass ceiling.
Nice.
Like, okay, you know what? That's actually kind of awesome. I love it. Like, this is not mincing words or visuals, Hardware is, quote, the angry black man. And the warning, if there is one, of Hardware is don't underestimate the angry black man. And also that they are angry for a reason. So the origin of Curtis Metcalf is interesting because it's just a child prodigy, which, by the way, in today's world, if you use that for any character, you're like, that's kind of lazy. Like, so he's a super genius. And like, he graduated high school at 14, graduated college at 15. Unable to make a lot of friends, always felt on the outside already, but also being a young black teen in an urban environment, he's got his work cut out for him. Graduates high school at 14, graduates college at 15, and catches...
Well, I was doing like college courses while I was still in high school.
Probably. We don't really get into it much. But then that level of genius catches the attention of Edwin Alva, who is a genius and a billionaire, and he's a tech leader, and he's a captain of industry, and he's
like Tony Stark.
He's actually like Tony Stark, yeah, but he's older. So
yeah, but he also only wants to do business and not save the world.
He certainly doesn't have a suit of armor yet. So Alva notices Metcalf and then takes him under his wing and proceeds to pay for his education, pays for like 6 more degrees, and basically is like, you get to work for me, I'm gonna give you like these floors, indulge your craziest whimsy, you have an unlimited budget, unlimited resources, all this stuff.
Just go.
Just work.
What does he want him to do?
I want you to
make me money.
Yes, exactly. Take your
Invent
genius.
stuff.
Invent stuff. I am a tech company. Make things.
Make tech.
Yeah.
Make tech go.
Yeah.
Go tech.
And I'm sure that it is also reminiscent of McDuffie's experience, at least within his physics department, where it's like, he demonstrated considerable aptitude, and they were probably like, "Oh, this comes easy, this guy. You know what? We're gonna give you grants. Just go,
Yeah, just work on these systems for us. Try doing this thing,
or just try anything. You know, we'll fund it. Like, you know, send us a proposal, we'll fund it." And so Metcalf grows up kind of being raised by Alva, and comes and goes as he pleases. Ends up, you know, getting a nice job, or ends up, you know, in a nice position. His rise catches the attention of like everyone within the company. The company is like, this dude is Alva's like pet project / protege. I assume he's being groomed to take over the company one day. Like, that's how integral Metcalf is in this company and with Alva himself.
But what about Alva's stupid son who is an idiot and can't take over the company even though he feels like it's his?
You know what's so funny about that? Not only does Alva have multiple children, including Edwin Alva Jr., what you just described is the origin of Ultimate Tony Stark from Orson Scott Card, a book we were going to do until I realized just how effing terrible it was. And I just cast it aside. So Metcalf kind of like is feeling himself a little bit, you know? And I think that's McDuffie's warning, where he's like, you can get comfortable by being taken care of. You know? Like, this guy swooped in at an influential period in Metcalf's development.
I just realized, like, you're in a bigger cage now. You're still your bird.
Exactly, you're still the parakeet. So Metcalf goes before Alva in a kind of informal meeting and starts talking about how he should be getting royalties for the things he's inventing. It's like, look, I'm being paid well, but you're making millions. I should be getting a kickback. And Alva's like, okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I put you in a position where you felt comfortable enough to ask me for something like that. But like, you're not my protege or my son. You're an employee. You get paid a lot to do the work that I expect from you. Period, end of sentence. Like,
yikes.
You are not respected here. You are useful. Don't conflate your usefulness for any kind of warm feelings I have for you. Just really lays it on thick, but in a way that in today's world I believe a person would actually say to someone.
Yeah, I some people, yes.
Yeah.
There are people like this in the world, yes.
Right? He says, this was an interesting experience. It's like a dog announcing that they were displeased with their living arrangements. You may go now.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
That'll piss somebody off. So Metcalf immediately is like, well, I've got legal recourse here. The idea being, of course, that like Metcalf tries every legal pathway that the system lays before you to find success or justice. And what he finds is that there isn't any. And he goes before a legal team, and they're like, your contract is ironclad. And also, you can never, based on the contract you signed, leave or work for another competitor.
Yeah.
Like literally,
he can quit, or you can work for Alva
forever.
That's it.
Those are your
You can't
options.
work for anybody else.
Nope. You can't start your own company.
A non-compete clause of some kind. Yeah.
Yep.
Which, by the way, at least in New York State, are basically unenforceable because judges have ruled that that is not legal.
Right. But this ain't New York.
And this is also the 90s.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's the 90s and it's Dakota, where they dropped bombs on gangbangers to solve their problems, which is, of course, the origin of the Big Bang, which is where a large majority of any powered individuals in the Dakotaverse get their powers, including Static, although, incidentally, not including Hardware or Icon. Two of the three of the Trinity.
Pillars, yeah.
But yeah.
And Static wasn't a gangbanger.
No, he was not. No, Static, I love Static, and I love his origins. And every time they do a new origin, I go, that's all right. Like, look, I ain't the person to talk about what's a good origin for Static. I'll just say I have a preference for McDuffie's over any other one. I do appreciate what they did with the new ones. It was a protest instead.
Oh, okay.
But, so it's more relevant, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'm gonna
Maybe-
quietly really enjoy the old one.
Maybe it resonate a little better with a modern young audience.
Yes, and the historical ramifications of the Big Bang from the original Milestone run are important and worth researching and should be exposed.
Yeah. But are in fact obscure.
Yes!
And so would be lost.
It would be
on a lot
lost
of
on the
readers.
audience, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they weren't worried about it in '93.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to bring it up every once in a while just to remind people that they firebombed an entire community to get, like, gangbangers out of one apartment. Metcalf is pissed because Alva swooped in under the pretense of being a benefactor.
Yeah, he gave him the short end of the stick,
And
even
gave
though
him-
it was a big stick.
It was a big stick with a lot of perks, but it was still a stick. And so Metcalf uses his genius to research Alva. Maybe this guy isn't as squeaky clean as his image would suggest. And we don't really get into the specifics, but let's just say that, like, Alva is everything that he claims to be, in as much as he's a philanthropist and he's a business owner,
and a cyclist.
and also he funds organized crime.
Okay.
Like, Alva is also a kingpin of crime, if you will.
Yeah, because he's like, look, I understand how the world works.
Right. I just think it's funny because, like, it's not enough that Alva is a piece of shit and just a corrupt business owner, but he also is, like, a secret organized crime boss.
He's a lot of things.
He has his fingers in many pots.
Yeah.
But
What is this happening with his eyebrow here? I don't want to miss this.
Yeah.
Like, look at what the art does.
I know, it just...
It puts like a vulture or an eagle or
Yeah.
something in his eyebrow.
Yeah, I think it's what he really is or what he has underneath the surface.
Do you think it's supposed to be a vulture?
Yeah, I think it's a vulture.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of bird metaphors.
The parakeet.
Parakeet,
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, in fact, one of Hardware's villains is also raptor themed, I guess I should say. It's not
Okay.
necessarily a bird per se, but it is a dinosaur, which of course, is the evolutionary template for birds.
Right. Right. Okay.
So Metcalf, like, delves into this, finds all this stuff out. He's drawing connections together. It's not quite as cut and dry, but he connects all the dots and puts together this, like, damning dossier on him and proceeds to print up a whole bunch of copies of what Alva truly is. And I love it because he's just like, so I go to the police, I go to the newspapers, I go to, like, exploitation TV, I drop these off, and I just wait for the fireworks. And I keep waiting.
There are no
And
fireworks.
there are no fireworks. And in fact, while I'm watching for fireworks, instead I find out that they've been rained out. Like, Alva gets awards for his philanthropy and his magnanimity. And these are people who also got the secret document from Metcalf. So they know damn well that he's not those things. And yet,
They're so deep
in
in his
on it.
pocket.
Exactly. And he's like,
He owns everything.
he owns everything. He's just like,
You want to know why he's an organized crime? Because he's spreading his investment across different platforms.
That's true. That's what a smart business owner does.
He's kind of like Lex Luthor.
He is
like
a little
Lex
bit like-
Luthor's a successful businessman. Why do you need to get involved in crime?
Right.
Hubris, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
Or, thirst for power.
Yeah.
I just want to diversify my portfolio.
But Metcalf is like, okay, that's the last straw.
Well,
Hey, Will.
I tried everything I could legally.
So I guess I'll build a suit of armor and murder everybody. And so
I mean, maybe don't go that route.
no, I'm gonna. Hardware is a killer. Hardware specifically is like, I am going to be a superhero dedicated to taking down that guy specifically. The building that Alva has set up, that Metcalf's been working in for years, also has like a bomb shelter type of area below that had been closed down.
Okay.
And so Metcalf quietly sets up like a secret lab within the bomb shelter after like an addition was built on the building.
Okay.
Like they forgot about it?
Yeah, or they have on the books that there was one, but we filled it in or something. So no one knows about it, or if they do know about it, they don't think to look there.
Where are the schematics? Let me just cross that
Yeah,
off.
just a little couple of lines there that say that that's not, don't worry about that anymore. So Metcalf has set up shop in Alva's own nest. You know what I mean? And so we get to see Hardware's lair and how he sets up to become Hardware. This is so fun and cool, and in any other comic book, you'd have all these descriptions of what it is and how it works and bobbity blue, and I couldn't care less. Just let the art speak for itself.
I don't know what it's called. I just know the sound it makes when it takes a man's life.
Well, like, Metcalf strips down naked and walks through this like thing that makes like a second skin over him, and you can see it like stretch over his body. And
Yeah, like he's walking through cellophane or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And it wraps all around.
And it wraps all around him, and so it obscures his identity, but also allows him to more fluidly connect with the Hardware armor that he's wearing.
Yeah, it's called a hardware shell.
That's right.
That's polarized.
That's
So
all
that
you
means
need
it's
to
ready
know.
to go.
I think that we're all polarized every time we start this show. Then he kind of like jumps down a pit, which in no way is reminiscent of the 66 Batman show, where on his way down, he like grabs pieces of the armor and like puts it on. Just a way to display like he's ripped, he's cool, he laughs in the face of danger, he looks insane. And watch him go. And then he hops onto the Skylark, which is his ship or Batmobile or
ship.
car. And I'm like, wait, Hardware could fly, right? Like, he doesn't need that. Yes, but also yes.
You need a sweet ride.
You need a sweet ride, and here it is. And you know what? It's cool. And I love it because in the original books, we also get like a breakdown of his arsenal. They want you to know everything about how cool he is and why it works. And so every issue gets a breakdown of like, if you saw him do something cool in it, rest assured there's a schematic or a breakdown of what it was. Like, we have a whole breakdown of the Skylark and how it works, even though in another issue or two, it will explode and never see it again. But
Yeah, but it was cool for that 1 second.
but it was cool in that 1 second. And so
This tracks with some earlier artwork where they have like really, really well rendered Apache helicopters that he's fighting. They're like hyper accurate looking. Like, this artist is very interested in the technical details of the stuff.
They're like, I had
he's
models.
drawing.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It is cool. Well, and you know, Cowan is, if you're gonna draw a tech-based hero or character of any kind in the 90s, you get Dennis Cowan to do it. Because while it may be, well, he may take liberties, those liberties will look sick. So, Hardware, obviously, remember, his whole modus operandi is, I'm gonna destroy Alva. But I'm not gonna just go to his high rise and kill him. That's for issue 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to destroy his enterprise.
You gotta take down the Empire,
down the
man.
whole
Right?
thing,
So like there's
yeah.
a warehouse and it's a front Like they make paper, but no, they don't. Or maybe the paper they're using ain't for writing, but for rolling doobies. No, I'm kidding. That's a harmless vice. This is hard drugs and stuff. So Hardware breaks in, and there's like these insane looking guards because it's a comic in the 90s. They could look like SWAT or private security, but that wouldn't be cool. How about these dudes in these crazy vests?
Yeah, with like helmets.
Yeah, one of them, gets the drop on Hardware, like points a gun at him. Hardware then blasts out some kind of a sword device out of his forearm and chops his arm off. And I'm like,
I believe it's a psi blade.
It's not. It is.
I mean, it's not psychokinetic.
It is not psychokinetic. It's not the totality of his psychokinetic powers.
It looks very much like one.
It does indeed. But we do have a breakdown, of course, in the book.
Hard light.
No.
No.
No, it's not
Is
hard
it a
light.
vibroblade?
It's just a sword.
It's just a sword?
Look, it says right there. It's a retractable sword.
Oh, retractable sword. Okay. All right.
By the way, I should point out, every time that Hardware deploys,
I thought it said beloved instead of deployed. I looked at it real quick.
retractable sword,
Beloved.
Like I love this thing. I love all the weapons in my arsenal, but this retractable sword is my favorite.
It is my beloved. It's you and me, put a retractable sword.
Come on, Betsy, let's go. I should point out that every time that Hardware deploys another gadget or thing he uses in his arsenal, there's a little description of what it is and does, which Matt Fraction will also use in the, as of the taping of this episode, current run of Batman, where every time Batman does anything that deploys a gadget, there's a little description, and I'm like,
Okay.
Hardware did it first.
Hardware did it first.
I was gonna say maybe that was like the AI in the suit.
Well, there is an
talking
AI
to
in the
him.
suit named Obi for onboard computer, and he talks to it like Jarvis.
Oh.
Now, Obi doesn't seem to have any discernible personality. He just does it because he's a computer, and that's some bullshit. That Jarvis crap, that's a
Right.
bunch of high-flying nonsense.
Right. We don't need that.
We don't need that. I got enough personality right here with Hardware.
This says it's approved by the Comics Code, but how could that be? Because he just chopped a guy's arm off.
I know. Well, you can lose limbs.
Yeah, but there's like blood and
And
stuff.
there's blood. It's red blood.
I know.
And
Well,
it looks all gnarly. It looks like there's like tendons and stuff in there.
Well, I mean, that's more interpretive.
Well, there
I mean,
are tendons and stuff in there,
You just
Ethan.
said it. It looks like there's tendons in there, but there aren't.
I don't know. I didn't think they usually were quite this bloody.
You're allowed some. Like the death of
okay.
Superman had to go black blood because they used up their quota
They
of
used
red
too
blood.
much blood. I see.
So then we deploy Hardware's first villain,
Okay.
whose name is Reprise.
Okay.
And Reprise can duplicate himself. And in fact, the Reprise that Hardware kills in this book is a duplicate, so we can bring Reprise back. Because
course.
what a fun character. There's actually a great moment in the letters page where someone's like, Reprise is cool. Don't tell me he's just some one-off character that's there to stop Hardware from getting to the main guy and then dies. And they're like, I'm sorry to tell you that he is just a one-off character who is there to stop the main character from getting at the bad guy.
We call him a mini boss.
Right, exactly. Or Temple Guardian. That being said, they're like, we're not done with Reprise.
Right. That is his role in this book.
Right.
Good. He's got too
That
many
does
teeth
not
like
mean
Baraka.
he will never.
Yeah, I don't care for Reprise's
Yeah.
design.
It's interesting. Normal down here, but way too many up there.
Yeah, well, it's just because I got to draw it all. I have other deadlines to hit. So
what's happening right now? Is this the first time he has been active?
no.
I'm a little confused as to the timeline.
The idea is that we're getting kind of a shotgun of who Metcalf is,
Okay.
and we're seeing him be Hardware in the present day adventure that he's going on.
Okay.
But he's been Hardware. The thing with Alva in the office that birthed Hardware,
Yeah, that was all backstory.
that happened a while ago. And I've
Right.
been Hardwaring ever since.
Right.
And here's another adventure of me being Hardware. And it's just the one that you care about because it's happening right now.
I see.
But trust me, I've been Hardwaring for a while.
Right.
And
And that's why Reprise is even here.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
Because
that's
It's
how
not,
I
like,
knew to
it's
call
not like
Har-
I ran into Reprise just on a whim.
Yeah, it's not like Reprise is
Reprise
just some...
says you're every bit as good as I've heard, which implies
That
he's been active for
he's
a
been
while.
active, yes,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So,
And perhaps Reprise was prepared.
exactly.
like, I knew you were
we
coming.
need someone who can do something extraordinary to stop this problem I have.
Right.
How about that guy that can duplicate himself and not die?
Oh, yeah, that guy. Let's get him. What's his name again?
Reprise.
Well, we'll workshop it.
I always called it Reprise.
Me too.
I guess that's wrong.
No, it's.
I mean, that's whatever you want.
Whatever you want, really.
Well, multiple man is taken.
Well, yeah.
What about Reprise?
Well, what would that mean?
Reprise.
Reprise.
What?
Come on, let me hear
Italian.
the music in it. Reprise.
Reprise.
Ah!
Reprise.
Reprise.
There we go.
So we have a sequence where we check in with Alva, who's watching this fight on closed circuit TV, and he basically just establishes, I'm the bad guy, hardware's a problem, and in fact, he's really effective. It's actually funny because...
He's like his arch nemesis at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alva is fully aware that hardware does not like him specifically. He's targeting my shit.
Right.
Alva also does not suspect Curtis Metcalf at any point in this story.
Okay.
He
Really?
will
'Cause
eventually.
you just started having problems with hardware.
The second you told
Metcalf,
Curtis Metcalf to
what
fuck
his
off.
place was.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think maybe you might know something about that.
All right,
I mean,
it's-
it might have taken hardware a little while to build all the stuff. It could be a few months or something.
It's true. And also, I think that the point is that Alva would never suspect Metcalf because
Right.
he sees him as below him.
Right.
It's going to be very different, their
But
relationship.
he
later.
owes me everything.
Why
Yeah,
would he
why would he?
betray
That
me
doesn't
like
make any
that?
sense.
It's like, what? So,
Maybe because you compared her to a dog. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe because you were a complete asshole about it. And also locked him into an ironclad contract that restricted him from ever, seeing any reward for himself.
I
Like,
don't
you
understand
could have
it.
just
It's not-
said no.
It's not like there's
Yeah.
a motto or an idiom of biting the hand that feeds.
Yeah, no, certainly not.
That doesn't exist.
It certainly wouldn't. I love that this is also McDuffie, like, excising his own rage. Like, he is not going to go on a rampage like hardware, but he could write someone doing it.
Right.
Because he was really upset about that missile guidance thing.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
understandably so. So what follows a big fight where, hardware's got to fight all these different reprises, and he does, but there's a lot of them, and they all have guns, and so he eventually decides he has to leave.
Not only do they have guns, they're double-barrel shotguns.
I know, and if you've ever played Doom, you know how effective those things are.
Oh, yeah.
So eventually, Reprise starts making a ton of duplicates of himself, and Hardware has no choice but to just blow up the building they're in. Like, he just blows the warehouse, which of course was what he was there to do in the first place anyway.
Right. So I'm just gonna do what I came here to do.
So let me call the Skylark, climb myself up to another glass ceiling, smash through it, and nuke it from orbit.
So maybe sure.
Reprise says, like,
Oh, they talk through them.
like each one says a different word in the sentence. So are they sharing like a collective
Yes.
consciousness?
Yeah, they're
interesting.
there's no unique Reprise except for the Prime Reprise.
Okay.
Or
Wow.
Reprime, if you will.
So they're all connected.
Yeah, they're all him. They're all an extension of him.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, which
Well,
is a great device to use to.
He's just prize.
Yeah, those are the Rees. So Hardware is wrecked from his experience and decides, I don't have the time, the inclination, or even the physical bandwidth to go back to my lair. So I'm just gonna go home. So he throws a coat over his hardware and just goes back to his apartment and then crashes.
Okay.
So he goes back to his place, strips off his hardware stuff, and then just goes to sleep.
I'm sure this won't be a problem.
Yeah. Meanwhile, at Medina University, at the Center for Afro-American Studies, his once and future girlfriend, lover, romantic interest for the series, Baraki, is wondering where he is because she's trying to reach out to him and he won't answer, and he always does because he's very good at his job and he's always very attentive and he always pays special attention to Baraki. And so she's like, you know what? I'm gonna go there and talk to him directly. So she goes to the doorman. The doorman's like, oh, hey, Baraki, come on in. Yeah, knock yourself out. He's like, you want me to buzz you up? And she's like, I'll let myself in. So she lets herself in and she finds him passed out. It's been days, by the way. He's been trapped in his hardware shell for days. I assume it's also nutrient rich.
Oh,
So
she's
it's
got to crack him out like a
Oh.
crab?
Kind of, yeah. It's funny because she finds him and he's just laid out. And by the way, he wears this kind of to obscure his identity, so it just looks like there's a silhouette on the bed. Probably
Yeah.
scares the living shit out of her, but she recognizes him immediately as Curtis, and then he's like, Baraki, what are you doing here? When he gets up, the shell like shatters around him because it's like you're not supposed to wear it that long.
Like,
otherwise it'll harden and it'll
Yeah.
get brittle.
Yeah, like a carapace.
Right? And it's like that's kind of fun. That's a really
Yeah.
cool visual. It's something I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So he's just like, that's it. Can you keep a secret? So he uses some special tool that like gets him out of it.
Huh. Yeah, he like scrapes it off. Okay.
And she helps to patch him up from any of the wounds that he sustained, and then they have a conversation. And
She's like,
So let me see if I understand this correctly. Your boss, who paid for your entire education, who pays for this lovely apartment, who pays for you to basically play with your brain for the last several years, refused to give you a little more, and so you went on a kill crazy rampage in a power suit. Is that right? Is it,
More or less.
I feel like you're kind of giving it a real negative connotation on it, but
I'm just saying, like, the guy has a list. Like, I got a dossier this thick on him.
Well, yeah,
I
it's
gave
like-
it to everybody.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, like he
like,
did.
okay, I'm not explaining this correctly.
The point I think that's being made with Baraki kind of like giving another perspective on hardware to hardware
Right.
is there's something to be said for the angry black man. There's another thing to be said for what you do with it, especially with your intelligence.
Right.
And
like the revenge fantasy is nice and understandable.
it's entertaining and fun.
Right.
And you have the technical know-how to complete it.
Sure.
Yeah. But is it
where-
actually a good idea?
Exactly. What then?
Well, and I think Baraki also goes a little step further where she's like, and you're doing all this because your boss wouldn't give you a raise?
Right. Yeah, like is that really what you should be doing with this power?
Right. She's like, you justified murdering people because you would screwed out of royalties? Like, that's kind of fucked up.
Right.
And he's like, please.
It's like, sure, but it's not just about that. It's also about how he views me.
Yeah, well, he doesn't bring that up.
But that's like an element of like pride, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
Where she would be like, I don't care about that.
Right, well, I don't have the baggage you do about that. You know, I'm
Yeah.
looking at it from my perspective, which is just kind of like, that sounds crazy.
Just seems friggin' nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His lesson from that is, you know what? She has a point. How about I just go kill Alva? Like, I'll just kill
Right.
him, and then I don't have to do this anymore.
Right. I can stop killing other
And
people.
she's like, that was not my point.
Oh, she left. Like, he let
Yeah.
her leave before he came to that conclusion.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, that's it. That sounds great. You know what?
Yeah,
Well,
Baraki, you're right. I should just kill Alva.
I'll just kill one person, one more person.
Right.
Baraki, that was a great idea, actually. I should just go and murder Alva.
Thank
okay?
you. Thank you.
Baraki, I'm going to call it my Baraki plan. I'm going to call it Operation Baraki. And she's going to be like, please don't. You know, it's already, Obi already put that in.
I'm gonna find Alva and be like, Baraki says hello before I blow him away.
Yeah.
I mean, she says goodbye, really.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to take
Well,
this
You
again.
know
what?
what?
Let me try that
try
better.
that. I can do that better.
So he's just like, okay, I'm going to go. Like, that's
Yep.
it. You know what? We're going to end.
We're gonna end it.
We're going to end
Yep.
hardware in issue 3. Like,
Right. Well, it was. But let me predict.
Well.
Maybe what's gonna happen here. He's gonna learn a valuable lesson about what he should be using his
No.
abilities and his powers for, and it's not destroying or personal vengeance, but something a little more elevated.
okay, so, like, yes, but not now.
Okay, he's gonna take a little while to get there.
He takes a while to get there.
Okay.
You know, it's a journey.
Yeah.
And-
Well, there we go.
But
All right.
but let's just say Alva doesn't die at the end of this story. And it's not because he has a change of heart. It's just kind of arbitrary. Like someone realized, oh, these books are selling.
Oh,
Which, by the
we're
way,
not gonna
they
be
counted
done.
on. Like they invented these books to
Right.
keep going. They weren't like, dude, 4 issues and we're out.
Right, but they also wanted to be able to end it at 4 issues if necessary.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think McDuffie's like future-proofing it. Like
Yeah.
people will be able to go, whoa, that hardware book was friggin' raw.
I wish there was more.
I wish there was more. And you know what? He killed that guy at the end? Dope. So Hardware's got a new mission. Kill Alva. And then we watch Hardware like suit up, goes to the building, walks to the front door. It's filled with security. He blows them away. They start attacking him. He blows them away. Senses a pattern here. He gets into
Yeah.
the elevator, blows up the place, finally gets to Alva. Alva's on his knees. He's begging. Yeah, that's what I want to see. This son of a bitch on his knees begging for mercy. And so then I hold my gun up against him and I think about all the ways he's wronged me and then I turn him into a skeleton. He's just poof, he's a skeleton now. Like, I don't even know what the hell this gun does. It says
It's a skeleton gun.
it just says the ignition chamber's been engaged. And so then skeleton man, like just poof.
Okay.
And it is over. And then I just walk away from a flaming wreckage that was Alva's legacy.
Like a badass.
Why does it feel wrong? Now that dream sequence or fantasy I just had is over, I'll go back to Baraki and talk to her.
The suit played through this scenario in my brain.
I guess. I mean, like, it's great because he definitely does suit up as hardware at the end of the last issue. He's like,
Right.
let's go. And then we watch him go and do that thing. And then it's like, what he really does is go, let's go. Wait. No. Let me go back to Baraki. Hey, Baraki.
In my
it's
crazy
me.
suit.
I was going on to that conversation that you had with me about how I should just kill Alva.
That's what? I didn't say anything like that. What are
And
you
I
talking about?
was saying, like, it's weird. It doesn't really feel fulfilling. Why would you have me do that?
And don't forget that also hardware obfuscates his voice. Like, the suit has like a voice modulator.
Okay.
So her was just sitting in her house, like in her living room, in the dark. She's like, Curtis, what are you doing? Like, I really love
It's
the
like, you look
agency that Baraki.
ridiculous.
This is what the hell. Her problem is like, I don't recall giving you a key in my place. And he's like, I'll let myself in. And she's like, if you're gonna talk to me, turn the voice thing off, please. And he's like, is this better? And because if you read like the first 4 issues, Hardware's personality is he is pissed. Like his internal monologue is just, I don't want to call it insane. It's more like angry. Like that's really what it is, just him being like, so I go into the room and this guy is a piece of shit. And then I punch him in the nuts and he started crying and peeing his pants and complaining about his pants are filling with pee and poop. Okay.
He sounds a little bit like Batman.
Yeah,
from Dark Knight Returns.
Hardware is Batman. Like Hardware is the Batman of this universe so far, but also he's Iron Man and also he's a lot of other ideas.
Yeah. He's Frank Miller's Batman. He's not any Batman.
Well, it's 93. We're only a few years removed from Dark Knight Returns completely taking over the comic book landscape.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's going to be influenced.
Yeah.
But he's a genius. He's an inventor. He creates things. He obscures his identity so he can go out and seek vengeance.
Yes. They have a little back and forth about how she was out. He presumes on a date because she's hot and he likes her. She won't give him an inch about what she's been doing or with whom.
It's like, that's none of your business.
But I will ask why you care so much. And he's like, maybe I'm jealous. And she's like, last time I checked, you wanted to keep this platonic. Like, you're the one who made this thing not a thing. And
She's seeing Alva, and that bitch.
no, it's not even that. Like, we could, if it were a Marvel comic.
What a huge betrayal.
Yeah, that would be a Marvel book. Like, it's just, oh no, like, I'll steal her from you. Instead, Hardware's response to that, by the way, is like, oh, please, I've had so much sex with so many beautiful women that aren't you. You know, like, okay, Hardware.
Okay,
All right,
Hardware.
Curtis, keep it together. And she's like, all right, well, what do you want here then? Like, if you're not here to like flirt with me or use your newfound superhero-dom to make me swoon and carry me off into the sky, then what exactly are we doing here? And he's like, maybe I want your approval. And she's like, for what? Building a suit and killing people in it? We get a lot of like exposition about who Curtis is. Like we established Curtis's father was a cop because she's like, your father would be ashamed of you. And he's like, I'm basically following in his footsteps. I'm murdering people indiscriminately with power that I definitely don't deserve or respect.
Except I'm the one that gave myself this power.
Exactly. So actually, I'm a little better. And
I'm
she's like,
actually way better at it than he ever was.
yeah. It's like you can build this amazing technological marvel and then do the most basic, stupid thing with it. Like, what will killing Alva accomplish? What do you want? What's your end game?
Right.
To kill Alva?
For Alva to be dead?
Right,
I'm not sure how to...
He's like, what do I do? Like, he's just,
Yeah.
I've never
Well,
asked myself this question. I've just been angry the whole
what
time.
else would I do?
And she's like, you got the big brain, figure it out. And he's like, okay. I will. So he does the same plan. He walks to the front door, but he disengages the security system. So no one hears him coming. So he walks to the front door, but then they catch him and he breaks out this little safe cracking machine because, of course, he's a genius and his fingers could be used as a concert pianist or a safe cracker. But
Or I have a machine that does it for me.
yeah, well, that's right. The machine literally just breaks in the door. The same shell fluid that he uses for his like second skin can be hardened into a key. Like he fills in like the keyhole with it and then like makes a key.
Kind of like nanotechnology.
Yeah, but it's more like 3D printing technology.
Yeah.
Like he just pours this shit in there and it hardens really quickly into it, and he just pulls
Maybe it's
the key out.
like a nano memory fluid.
He calls it the hardware shell fluid.
There you go.
Actually, hang on. Let's take a look. Let's see exactly what the polarized key is all about, because there's a little breakdown of it right here. Thank God.
No, there isn't. God damn it.
Oh, there is. Look, the quick pick. Hardware shell alloy in liquid form can be poured into a lock, then polarized into a perfect key in seconds. No standard lock is safe from this device. Thank you.
The hardware shell alloy. Yeah, so
That's the Sudi.
once
yeah.
we know what the
not how
hardware shell is, we could explain how that works.
Oh no, we're not going to do that.
But the tumblers go in specific spots.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, it
and
turns the thing at the same
fluid
time and
fills
figure
the
out-
spot. Anyway, the security team finds him immediately, and they're like, "Freeze!" And so he blasts them. And you're like, oh, well, I saw this already. I know this tune. He's going to murder them or turn them into skeletons.
Right.
But no, he fires a neural net at them. And that's not like a neural net that's virtual from the internet. I mean an actual net
That like shocks
that
their
shocks
neurons.
their neurons and makes them unconscious.
Sweet.
Also, they loose their bowels.
Yeah, well, he's like, it harmlessly paralyzes them. Actually, I'm not really sure if that does harmlessly paralyze them. I haven't really tested it yet. But anyway,
They might be permanently paralyzed.
But
Who
they
knows?
might survive.
there's definitely a very slim chance they'll survive. Now I'm going to whip out this awesome whip that I used in the previous story, ha-ta, and like shatter the door. But you can see like he's not murdering people indiscriminately right now.
Right.
And he's got a little more finesse.
Right.
And so he shatters this wall and he takes down these guys, and then Alva comes back. Alva was never in the building. And so Alva just saunters into the building. He's like, looks like we have some maintenance problems here, don't we? And then he goes into his office, and Hardware's sitting in his chair.
I learned this a couple
Oh.
pages back.
Exactly. I did this with Baraki. By the way, Baraki says goodbye. They have this little back and forth where he's like, have a seat. And Alva's like, nope, not going to do that. Because that's because powerful people stand.
Right.
I'm not going to do what you say.
Right.
Right?
Go ahead and have a seat. I prefer to stand. Stand then.
Okay, I'll have a seat.
Damn it.
I'm going to lie down on the floor. So they have this back and forth that basically Alva says,
How would you like to work for me?
how would you like to work for me?
Of course.
Which,
Right.
by the way, is like the move. Like in the book Save the Cat, which has ruined countless movies, there is this like idea that there has to be an offer from the villain to join them. You'll see it in every superhero movie
Yeah.
ever.
And in Streets of Rage.
And in
And-
Streets of Rage. Of course.
I'll pay you double what I'm paying you now, Metcalf.
This would be a great time for that to happen, but like I also need Metcalf to be smarter than Alva. Like Alva can't see that this is Metcalf.
Right.
Alva admits that he's like, you've cost me millions of dollars in lost revenue from your like one-man war against me. I'll pay you twice what I've lost to be my security force. Which I think is ironic that like Alva is like, oh, I'll just throw money at you, you angry black man who's taken like fire to all of my business interests. Meanwhile, this person I've raised practically like a son, I'm not
Right.
going to give the like 0.5% he's entitled to on his own inventions.
Right.
What a piece of shit. Which should enrage him. Like at this point, I think I know who Hardware is. Hardware be like, I'm going to fucking rip off your arms and beat you to death with them.
Or 2 paychecks.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? That's how I win. That's how I win. I take his money and then I take it again. And then I kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, what? So he's like, I'm not for sale. And he's like, oh, okay, you're a philanthropist. I can respect that. I'm one of those too. He's like, I thought you were just a gangster. Which, of course, you know, it's like, oh,
Oh, yeah, you judged that.
little racial thing thrown
Yeah.
in there. And he goes, okay, I'll triple the bribe then. And then Howard just punches him in the face. And he's like,
Nice.
and he goes to the ground. He's like, you're going to kill me. And he's like, yeah, that's right.
Quadruple the money?
You're right. And he's like, not yet though, because I didn't just come into your office to sit in your comfy chair and throw epithets at you. Before you got here, I broke into your safe. I took your ledger. I took all of your shit. I didn't have time to actually steal the files in your computer, but I did clone your hard drive onto my local drive. So I'll just look at it later when I got time. I'm sure there's all kinds of interesting shit in there. No, I'm going to destroy you.
Hey, if there's a folder in there that says HR don't open, all this private stuff.
So Hardware's plan, it's refined. It's like, I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to ruin you and your reputation, like to the extent that no one will be able to ignore who you are. And then I'm going to destroy your company so that you don't have any more money. You're gonna be a beggar on the street. And then one day, you'll have your hand out for change. I'll put a nickel in it, and then I'll kill you. And I'm like, I gotta tell you, Hardware, or you could just kill him right now.
Right, but then he won't suffer.
Right, but like, will he though? I mean, which in the 90s, it's like, yeah, there's an expectation that there is a floor for Alva to reach. But in today's world, if you're in Alva's position, there's like safety nets and
Yeah.
there's no place.
He'd have friends and stuff who
Yeah.
are wealthy who would help
Right.
him. You know?
I mean, he at least has the crime families.
Right. It would be fun to see though. It would be fun to see an Alva who's like on the run, who's trying to like rely on the kindness of the mob and find an increasingly desperate Alva, which of course is what we're kind of like indicating here. But I love Alva's response. It sounds like Cody, but at work. Don't let me keep you. And he's like, no, the thing is, Alva, I enjoy my work. And then he stomps on him and breaks his leg.
Oh.
He's just like, oh, okay.
Nice.
And he goes, you broke my leg. And he goes, let's do it again sometime. Then flies out the window. And I was like, okay, Indigo team, get Indigo Leader and take down Hardware. He's right outside my window. And then we meet Indigo Leader. I wish Indigo Leader had a cool name. He doesn't, because he looks like Megatron from the Beast Wars cartoon.
He's wearing like a dinosaur suit.
It's like a dino mech. It's sick.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love
looking.
it. Like, of all the 90s excess that I've seen in comics, this is kind of rad.
It's like a dinosaur ate a man and he's still looking out the mouth.
Yeah, he looks like Smoochie, but designed by Rob Liefeld. Like,
Yeah.
it's sick. I love it. It's
Look at all this reflections too.
Yeah.
There's so much light bouncing off this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Nice.
Just like, I love the huge claw and the gun arm
Yeah.
and the dino head mouth where it's just screaming his face.
Yeah. And there's sharp things everywhere.
Yeah.
Look at all these sharp things.
But no pouches to be seen.
0 pouches.
That's right. That's the Milestone guarantee.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's got pouches on his belt.
Those are compartments. Now I gotta go into like the swampy area outside of the high rise and get into my Skylark. So he hops in and then he flies away, and Indigo Leader is right behind him in hot pursuit in his flying dino mech suit.
Why does Indigo Leader have a giant flying dino mech suit?
Well,
I thought Metcalf created the only mech suit that this universe had.
No way. No.
No.
Metcalf made one from scratch. This guy, well, and that's the indication, is that like Indigo Team and Indigo Leader and all this tech actually comes from a secret organization that is responsible for even more carnage and destruction than even Hardware was counting on. And this is also an opportunity for, supervillains to attack Hardware, and so Hardware won't just immediately kill them with
Right.
his robot death suit.
So if I'm in a mech suit, you have to be in a mech suit too, so we can fight.
Yeah, and he does. Like, Indigo Leader takes down Skylark. We hardly knew ye. Just boom. So it goes down, and Hardware ejects and then deploys his soft landing module, which you're like, oh, okay, what's he gonna land in? No. Or
It's like a glider.
It's a glider, but
it's got
probably like
rockets.
6,000 pounds.
I was gonna say it doesn't look like it's gliding anywhere.
No, it
It's
ain't
made
gliding
of
nowhere.
solid metal, and there's a lot of non-aerodynamic things sticking out of it.
Including no fewer than 2 lightsabers that he has to grab onto. But
With spikes at
With
the
spikes
end.
at the end.
I love it. He goes, well, it was either this or an airbag. And I'm like, okay. You got me there. Skylark explodes. It's like, I love that
He even
car.
calls it a car.
Yeah, it is kind of a car.
Well, for him, proportionately speaking, that is my car.
Yeah,
Right.
it just flies.
For Hardware,
What's your point?
yeah, whatever.
A car being a small vehicle that gets a person from one place to another.
Exactly. The wing catches on fire, and Hardware still plummets to the ground, but he doesn't die. And then he engages with Indigo Leader, who attacks him and says that he is wearing systematic Indigo-class battle armor.
Indigo Leader is huge.
Yeah, I told you, it's a mech suit. But
It's a big
it's not just called
but his-
systematic because it is part of a system. The evil organization is called System because they're part of it.
Is
We're
it
railing against
hydromatic?
Yeah, they call it greased lightning. But
system.
well,
Okay.
because we
he's
fight
part
against
of the
it. He's
system.
part of
yes,
it,
yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So Hardware fights Indigo Leader until eventually he caves a building on top of him.
Nice.
He's like, boom, another one
Just
for
dropped a building
Hardware.
on you.
Gotcha. And then Indigo Leader gets back up.
Yeah, he just comes out of the rubble.
We're not done yet, Hardware. And
Thank you. That's exactly what I thought
exactly. Indigo Leader like blasts the rubble at Hardware, momentarily immobilizing him until Indigo Leader can get him, and he holds onto him, and then he plugs into him. Like he takes his data cables and like plugs them into Hardware's own hardware, and he's like, I was told
He's hijacking hardware?
He's hijacking hardware. He's like,
no.
I was told that you stole Alva's computer systems. Well, that's not fair. That's proprietary. So I'm going to wipe your system clean. That's what I'm going to do.
Right.
You know?
I'm going to wipe out
I'm gonna
your
do a-
software.
right,
Then
exactly.
where will you be?
Hardware. And so Hardware's like, you're not smarter than me. Like, you're now in my system. And so Hardware ends up slaving Indigo Leader's operating system to his, and so he controls it, which again, you know, not for nothing, but No Way Home ripped this off. Remember when Spider-Man steals the arms,
Yep.
Yeah,
takes over
yeah,
his
yeah.
system. No, it's not. It's,
No,
you know,
it's-
but it's like we've seen this.
Sort of an
The
obvious idea,
mouth
but
on Indigo Leader almost looks like Venom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it's kind of cool. He uses a optical or an eye movement input device.
Yeah.
Because he can't use his arms because the guy pinned his arms.
right,
But he
and
has
he-
like a visor
Uh-huh.
that comes down where I guess depending on where he looks on the screen, he can like activate menus and stuff.
He has a visual input device that can type commands by focusing his eyes on the image of a letter, and I'm like, that's a thing we have.
Yeah, you could do that now.
We could
Like
not
eye
do that in
tracking.
93.
No, no.
But you know who would know about that emerging technology? A physicist in 1993.
Yeah.
Who might be able to at least be like, this is an idea.
Yeah, this is something that I can imagine someday you'd be able to do
Yeah.
with sufficient.
And Hardware does it. And it's like, that's awesome.
I read The Bone Collector. I know what's going on.
Hardware turns off Indigo Leader. So he's just kind of like stuck there. And then Hardware's like,
Hey,
I don't even need to use my hand.
Quit punching yourself. Quit punching yourself.
It's funny because he says, I don't even need to use my hands, but I do like to. Wha-bam! And then we go back to Alva's office, and Alva's there, and he's in like a cast, and he's got a cane. And Hardware like dumps all of Indigo Leader's armor all over Alva's desk, which I was like, that's awesome, and also reminds me very much of a sequence from Spawn, when Spawn beats Overkill the
This
cyborg.
just happened.
Yeah.
His leg is already cast.
Yeah, Alva went to the ER.
Okay, I thought this was like an hour later.
No, it's like it's been hours.
He broke my leg. I watched him leave. I sent Indigo Leader after him.
Yeah, that'll
They
happen.
had a fight for an hour,
Uh-huh.
and now he just comes back and dumps his
I
stuff
mean,
in my lap.
realistically, the fight would have lasted like, based on how much of the fight we see, what, like 25 minutes?
Yeah.
But it took all night, and now it's the morning, and Alva's there to clock in, and then Hardware's there, and he's like, nah. I also now know that there's a secret organization called System.
Oh,
so thanks for sending me a little errand boy to give me more information. I can't wait to cross-reference that with the data that I stole from your computer, which I still have.
Nice.
And Alva's like, oh, you can't even imagine the world that you're entering, Hardware. And he's just like, yeah.
Best not even think about doing that.
Right? And he goes, yeah, I can't.
Sure.
Finding that out is a project for later. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know anything about it. How could I imagine it?
I don't even care.
Right.
But I will later when I figure it out.
Right.
Right now, I'm too busy, you know, banging all these hot chicks and being cool.
Right.
And he's like, look, if this is the best you got, you don't have a leg to stand on. Haha, leg to stand on, get it? And he's like,
See what I
listen.
did?
And Alva goes, listen. He goes, no, you listen. He just smacks him in the ear.
Nice.
It went from fun wordplay to, and also I could kill you at any moment, don't forget.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm on to you. Just try anything else. Anything, and you can give your soul to the Lord, but your ass belongs to me.
It's a good line.
Nice.
And then Baraki's like, so basically what you're saying is you're in a stalemate. No one won anything.
He's like, what? No, I won.
No.
I kicked his ass, and his Lackey's ass.
Yeah, and I dumped all the stuff on his desk, and I told him he didn't have a leg to stand on. You should have heard me. Actually, I record everything I do, so here, listen to it.
Here, I'll put it up on the TV.
And so, for his trouble, Metcalf buys a parakeet.
To remind himself?
Yeah.
It's like, I thought that'd be appropriate.
Then he releases it into his apartment, and she's like, you don't have a cage. And he's like, nuh-uh, no cages in here. And I'm like, well, that bird's gonna shit all over your apartment.
Also, your apartment is the cage at that point.
Well, that's
yeah,
true.
it's still a cage.
Yeah, but it's like, no. But
As you pointed out before, the windows effectively make it into another
Look,
cage.
the bird is stupid. Doesn't know any better. maybe it only wanted to go out the window because it had the cage. You know what I mean?
Right. If I don't put it in a cage, then I won't have any need to want to
Want
escape.
to go even further.
They won't
Yeah,
even
that's not
know
how
it's in
birds
the
work.
cage. I mean, in the house.
Yeah.
Damn it.
The metaphor kind of breaks down, but let me talk more about cages because I'm still like echoing the first issue because I built this hardware armor to escape from it, but it turned out to be its own cage.
Oh, yeah?
That's right.
In what way was it a cage?
Well, because I pigeonholed myself into being one thing when I could be many more things.
I see.
You know, this armor, I went on a vendetta to beat Alva when I should be doing more with it, like you said. By the way, do you want to bang me because, you know, I'm growing and I'm better?
What?
Like, no, he doesn't say that.
No.
But he does. You know, eventually seal the
Later,
deal, of
yeah, of course. But she says he doesn't see her that way.
course.
He just wants to be
He's
friends.
just full of shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
He's like, I wouldn't try with you because I know you would
I
tell
know
me
you
to.
would tell me to kick
So
rocks.
I'm going to say that it's my decision.
Yeah.
Because I haven't figured out yet how.
How to woo you.
Yeah, I know it would fail right now, though, so
Exactly.
I'm waiting.
It's a very weird cross symbol for him to put the parakeet and his helmet on.
Yeah, because like in this panel, this is clearly a cross. This
No,
is
it's a
but then
perch.
It's a parakeet
I mean,
perch.
it
Yeah.
incidentally is a cross, but also I'm sure, you know, the visual metaphor is unmistakable.
Yes. Yeah.
But I think the idea is
Yeah,
that,
he
like,
doesn't think of it as a cross.
No,
Visually
it's
appears to us as a
parakeet
cross.
perch.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like, oh, so is Metcalf like the martyr? Because he hangs his helmet on it, and the bird perches on it.
Right.
But he basically says, like, you know, what do I want to accomplish? You asked me this question. I don't know, but I'm convinced that somehow hardware is the right tool for the job. So then hardware eventually will go on like an interesting adventure where he will continuously refine his armor and get further and further away from what design I enjoyed until because it keeps getting like more and more complicated. And it's like, I understand the impetus behind like making him, you see the inner workings of the armor, you know? Like, I'm not Iron Man. Like Ben pointed out, Iron Man keeps all that shit under a, you know,
Right.
Under a
Apple
shell.
computer's shell.
Right.
that
It might
makes
as well be
look-
magic.
Right, yeah.
Because you don't know what's going on under
Right,
there.
and it's like, no, hardware, I mean, just by the name implies that it is more complicated and
Yeah, like
technical.
we're gonna care about what's
What it
in there.
looks
It's not
like.
just gonna like randomly pop up stuff that he needs in that moment.
I mean, it
I mean,
will.
it will do that.
But you can
people put
believe
some.
it would do that.
Yeah, yeah.
This cover makes it look like the two are teaming up,
Yeah,
and they're trying to pose for a picture.
they really do. Like, they're like, yeah!
and he's like,
Another,
he's like, yeah, we're gonna look cool, and it's just like hardware just freaking out in the back.
yeah, he always like, whoa! Let's do the silly one first.
I'm gonna pretend to attack you, and you'd be like, no, man.
Eventually, Alva will turn over a new leaf.
What?
Yeah, it like gets really weird and interesting.
Huh.
And I think it kind of gets away from itself, but it does the job it needs to do. It sells this universe. It really does. Like, I don't get a really good feel for what Dakota is, or that there's a larger world outside their window. Like, it's very good at selling you what hardware is, and it's very good at being in your face about what they're trying to accomplish in a way that I don't normally use the term in your face to describe. Like, it is in your face, but not in a like aggressive, in an aggressive way, but not in a way that I find repugnant. It's like, no, it needs to be loud, it needs to make noise, it needs to be in your face in order to get attention. Because 1993, and like people are buying the flaming carrot. How am I going to distinguish myself? Like, I need to get some kind of noise going. Because in the comic book industry, success is dictated by the noisiest.
Yeah. It was true then,
And it's true-
and it's definitely true right
And it's
now.
never more true than it is right now. Hardware character will grow, and I actually really appreciate it because, like, I remember when I first read it, it was hard to get into for me anyway. I mean, I can't imagine, but like, I was just like, he's just so pissed. No, I didn't know the.
He's very pissed.
I didn't know the history. I didn't know that like Dwayne McDuffie's part in it. Outside of him writing it, I didn't know anything about the creator at the time.
This seems like it would be targeted at someone in their like early 20s.
Yeah.
entering the workforce and finding disillusionment and frustration.
Big time. Absolutely.
Because that is where he is in life, right? Like he's out of college and he's making a career for himself, and then he's finding out that like everything is not what it seems.
And I don't own any of it.
Yeah.
Like, even though I've put in all this work and effort, I technically am just part of the great machine.
Yeah.
And
Like it's very hard to imagine a child of any sort
really connecting with this material.
connecting with that aspect of.
Fortunately,
the
it does
origin.
look rad, and that'll help.
That's
That does a
true.
lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it's just like, but then you're expecting your like hero fantasy character to like murder the bad guy, and then he's just like, no, I've got bigger plans. And look at me
Right.
intimidating you. Look at me prove at every interaction that I could kill you, but choose not to. But also, that's also really powerful. Like, that's a really cool that's a cool message as well for the book, where it's like, here is this angry black man who has every advantage over the main antagonist, except socially.
Right.
And
Yeah.
he
Like he can't do any of this in public life.
Right, in the
It wouldn't
actual, like,
work.
through the system.
Well, he tried. and
He
it didn't
tried
work.
every avenue, and he was stymied at every opportunity.
Yeah.
And yet takes every opportunity when they interact to show his superiority. Like, I could kill you at any second.
Right.
I also am smarter than you. I've outthought your contingency, and watch as I destroy your empire from within, all in your basement, by the way. And Alva, of course, will discover that Hardware is Metcalf. And incidentally,
Naturally.
that will melt his icy heart.
Oh.
He's like, wow. Like, he actually has more respect for him for being Hardware and doing all that shit than
I didn't know you had it in you.
Yes! And Metcalf's like, what? And then he's like, you know what? You know how you had all those expectations about like being my protege and taking over? Yeah, let's do that. When I die, you'll take over my company, and I'll like groom you to be the owner of this multi-billion-dollar corporation. And while we're doing that, I'll divest myself from all my illegal activities. Which he does.
Interesting.
Until eventually Alva passes, and then the company goes to
So
Hardware.
Alva actually reforms?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not where I thought that was going to
No.
go.
Which I also appreciate.
I thought he was going to try to like corrupt
Of
it.
course. Oh yeah. No, you see that. And that's the thing, is that Hardware continuously undercuts Alva's development by being like, I don't trust you. I have no reason to trust you. I'm going to, because I want to grow and be better. But he never quite buys in entirely until he finds out that Alva screws all of his children out of his inheritance and gives it all to Metcalf.
Oh, wow.
And Metcalf's like, I don't think I want any of this. Like, I don't want to be in charge of this company and have all this money and deal with all this crap, because it's not mine.
Well, you threatened my life. I thought that's what you wanted.
Yeah, Alva proves he didn't learn
Are you
anything
happy
either.
now?
I've done it all
Here,
out of fear.
Here. Please just leave me alone.
What? Man, we had dinner the other day. Like, what are you talking about? It took years for us to get there.
Okay, I'm sorry.
What? Yeah. It's
I
funny.
just figured that's what you wanted. I just kept going.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, jeez. Well, yeah. That is a consequence of
The way I behaved
the way I
toward you.
beat the living shit out of you and broke your leg.
Okay, the Death Wish stuff was insane,
Yeah,
but it goes even crazier after that.
Oh, sure. Well, why wouldn't it?
Yeah, Death Wish turns out to be like a serial killer who kills prostitutes
Oh.
and doesn't realize he's doing it. So
What?
then, like, eventually gives himself up because he's like, I'm sick, man. I need help.
I belong here.
It's like, what? I did not see that coming.
And then Death Wish gets, like, plagued by all the people he's killed, including the guy whose arm he cut off.
I know, yeah.
Which is phenomenal.
Yeah, that coming back I did not see coming. I'm like, what? I guess because it's just so memorable, you know? It almost costs us the comics code. But yeah, Hardware. If it's in print, I'll put it in the comments down below. If it's not, I'll put like the season 1 relaunch of Hardware in the comments down below. I think I advocated for this in the Static episode, but like now that DC is into like the compact editions, every first volume of Milestone should have one. Like the first Static, the first Hardware, the first Icon, they all need to have those, because like the first Blood Syndicate, they need to be available and they need to be in the hands of the people who would read them. And I think that the audience that these are targeting would be more suited for the compact editions because, you know, they're easier to transport, they're more fun, like they just sell better. I know, I spent a lot of time and money on the new ones, and I don't want to disparage any of the creators who worked on them because they're all hardworking, great people. That being said, these came first, and you get to remember your legacy. And I've seen some compendiums. I saw some like original Milestone collections out. Great for collectors. These are not meant to be put on a shelf and admired forever. They're meant to be read by regular people who can learn or at the very least get something out of it. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time with another episode. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
Keep reading.
What's this? Oh, I guess this is his whip. I'm like, what is this?
I think
This-
no, he has
No,
a
that's
hook.
a
hook
sword
thing.
That's
knife
his hook.
thing.
No. He
Oh.
has a hook that he uses.
When does he use the hook?
He used it to get out of.
I don't remember. Oh, I see
the,
it.
The multiple man fight.
Okay. Yeah, there it is. Oh, yeah. I notice he's also got chains.
Wait, no, that's like
chains are cool.
That's a sword.
No, look
Oh,
at
this
the
is a
curve.
hook.
I see the sword.
The same color.
See, this is a hook though.
That's a hook.
this-
That's not what this is.
See, there's a hook.
Yeah, that's a hook.
See the hook?
I see the hook
That's
there.
not the same
the
hook.
hook
Do you see
shape?
that? Do you see that?
He's just
Yeah.
showing you
See
that.
this?
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
that? That?
Yeah, that's
and
a,
this?
That's a hook.
See this? Do you see that?
Yeah, but it's the same thing.
It's not.
It's the same thing though. It's on the chain. It's
Here's-
on the
here's
thing on
why
the
it
end of the
is the
chain.
same thing,
It's
because-
plasma or something, right? It
No,
changes
it's-
shape or some shit.
No,
No?
this is the first cover. They drew this before they refined what he does and has.
Oh, I see.
So this became that.
Okay.
They were like, oh yeah, he's got a sword because they all have swords and stuff. And it's like, he's not gonna have a sword. That's fucking stupid.
He has a double-sided comma.
He does have that sword though, that one that
The
comes
yeah.
out.
See that?
Is that different?
Yes,
sword?
he's got
Yeah, he
that.
also has that.
Which is not.
Which is problematic, because the second you try and stab somebody with it, it
Oh, you
goes
just
right
stab
into your
yourself.
own arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
No,
there's a lot going on.